Evening. Good night, one might even say. Hello! Hey! Time for more Endwalker. I don't have much of a lead up. I've had a weirdly busy evening, I guess. Because I drove over to my brother's house. Fuck, I still need to get Deca back to his home world, don't I? I drove over to my brother's house and I picked up that. And now I have a VR headset. Yippee! And now I need to set up a VR headset. Oh no, but hey, that means that I'm probably gonna do some VR shit sometime soon. So that'll be fun. I mean, before I do that, I have to worry about Final Fantasy XIV, which is a whole problem in and of itself, but it's a solvable problem. All I need to do is keep playing, and one day I'll die. And then I get to do other things, so it all works out. It's perfect. Last we left off, they put a fucking shock collar on my children because they're assholes and they don't trust us. And I have some sympathies because Emmett Selk is a fucking bastard, but we'll see. I don't expect us to come to good terms with Quintus exactly. Alright. Oh, I should mark down. I updated my notes too. But I need to mark down these characters. So we have Julius, who's the only character that I missed, I think. And he stole food, then led us to, what is this place? Tertium. Now, I know Thancred is somewhere in the wings watching us, so I'm sure he'll have an opinion on all of this. But that's for later. In the meantime, I get to go, wow, it's a subway, just like Deus Ex, and move on with the main story quest. As per Lord Quintus's instructions, I'm to supervise you during your time here in Tertium. Before you ask, no, I don't have a key or any other means to remove your collars. Nor would I tell you if I did. And if you try anything, you'll soon wish you hadn't. So, do you truly intend to speak with the others, or was that merely a ruse? We're in no hurry to disobey Lord Quintus, if that's what you mean. Or perhaps you doubt the wisdom of his decision. Do as you will. But remember, I'll be watching. If I catch wind of you doing anything untoward, trying to trick our people to turn their coats and the like, those shock collars will be the least of your worries. Understood? Though we're somewhat compromised, to put it lightly, let's not waste this opportunity. I suggest splitting up and learning what we can of their situation. And above all else, don't use magics of any sort. You know, I never really picked up that the Garleans hated magic, but it makes sense, considering they can't use it. You, on the other hand, may go wheresoever you wish, even outside the camp. I know full well I couldn't stop you if I tried. But do not forget, if you do anything to endanger us or our interests, Alvino and Alize will pay the price. Well, alright. Dick. You came with I assume Julius. You came with Julius, didn't you? Well, whatever business brought you here, you best keep your hands off that aetherite. It's deactivated, but I'd rather you didn't mess about with it. There are others throughout the city, built by Garleans, for Garleans. Could teleport all over in the blink of an eye, provided there was a terminal nearby. These days, however, we use the aetherite's power to keep this place lit. Oh, hell yeah. Though that comes at the cost of its normal function. Oh. That explains why it wasn't responding before. It is also kind of neat. It's you! Deca Salvo! I served under Lord Gaius of the 14th Legion. I was there on the night the Praetorium fell. You and your adventurers, you killed them. My comrades, my friends. Swept them aside in the dozens as though they were nothing to you. And maybe I am too. Just another faceless enemy to be cut down. But it won't be long until our countrymen return. Until you get what you deserve. Mark my words. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. Yeah, I don't think I should be here. Oh, God. I know who you are. The so-called champion of Eorzea. Come to gloat, have you? I'll wipe that smirk all over your face. By the blood of our fallen compatriots, I'll swear I'll... Oh. Damn, tore the sutures. Of all the times... Oh, fuck. The worst of the lot within striking distance, and I can't even muster the strength. If it wasn't for the third bleeding us, we'd be the end of you. Virgilia's treachery nearly cost Lord Quintus his life, but we made our escape. Took shelter in a mansion, tended to the wounded as we prepared to strike back, and then night fell, and we gathered around the radio. Then the roar, the terrible roar. The capital was in chaos, but we were spared. You can call this a mercy. Mind intact, but body broken. A soldier in name alone. I'd cut you down where you stand if I could. Murderer. I'm gonna be listening to the song quite a lot, aren't I? Alright. Neat. Yeah, it turns out everyone is mad at me all of the time. Why did you bring me here? Did you learn anything of note? Then your findings are consistent with my own. Their plight is desperate indeed. The sick and the injured are at greatest risk. Without warmth and proper nutrition, I fear they will soon perish. I realize there's precious little we can do for them at present, but I cannot bear to see them suffer. Please, will you help me tend to them? Who's there? My eyes, I can't see all that well. Thank you. The numbness has subsided a little. But I know I won't last much longer. You should look to the others who can still fight. Give them my ration. If me going hungry means someone else lives to see another day, then so be it. At least I could still... At least I could still serve in that way. Loyal little shits, aren't they? Oh God. So those you met fare no better. I was afraid you would say that. I know we were warned against meddling in their affairs, but we can't leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have the contingent deliver supplies. Quintus may have made his feelings on the matter quite clear, but even he must recognize they are not in a position to refuse help. Maybe Julius could persuade him, though we need to persuade Julius first. I'm sure they're having a fun time. Oh, I should remember to cast Guardian on me, something I never occurred to do to me before. Well, seen enough. Julius, the people here have barely enough food and fuel to survive. Have you and the other soldiers been able to procure any more supplies? We've been scavenging provisions for the nearby houses, as most families kept, some stored away in the event they were snowed in. Still, going out again it is dangerous work, and we've a lot of mouths to feed. Fuel is the greater concern, though. We had set some ceruleum aside until it was stolen. We haven't identified the culprit. Could have been other refugees or one of the afflicted for all we know. Either way, we're down to the last dregs. Without the heating they need, those in poor health are only going to get worse instead of better. If it's ceruleum you need, our contingent has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. We will not accept your charity. If we can hold out a little longer, the situation is sure to change. Aye. Everything will change. Those mysterious countrymen of yours, I assume? I heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you could do to interfere, so there's no harm in telling you. One of our scouts spotted a hooded man issuing instructions to the afflicted, or in the bastard's words, loyal servants of the Tlafaloi. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or what stands in its place. We had identified the seat of the enemy's power, we realized. Lord Quintus dispatched a messenger to the 10th Legion saying as much, and instructing them to join forces with the provincial legions, to prepare for a combined assault on the Tlafaloi. Once our allies arrive, your contingent will be sent running for the hills. Then we shall reclaim the capital by our own hand. And how do you intend to survive in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish long before reinforcements reach Garlemald. They need help now. Say the word and we will bring you ceruleum. Hey look, it's this game. Hey, I'm us. I will speak with Lord Quintus. So, did he agree to it? No, he will not place Garlemald in the debt of our enemies. I have, however, been ordered to search for ceruleum outside. As you are under my watch, you will come with me. Very well. After all, many hands make light work. You lot are more trouble than you're worth. Once we're outside, you will follow my instructions to the letter. We depart shortly. Ooh, are we gonna go find some ceruleum, maybe? That'd be clever. Oh, I should, use the... No, not that! No, not that either. Where's the thing I got? There it is. Got some dreads now. Oh! And I got the Warrior of Light card? When did I get this? Oh. Screenshot. And put that in the Discord. Huh. Didn't expect to have that, but yeah, neat. Didn't even notice I got it. Well, we take those. I'll have a deck of cards soon enough, won't I? Vice and Helix are gonna be mad. Alright. Cute. Also, type Beckon. Will that make it sit on my shoulder? Adorable. I love them. We will begin our search for ceruleum in Regio Urbanissima. The first location is Forum Soleus, a park to the northwest of the station. You are to remain close at all times and act only as ordered. Follow me. I wonder what... Hang on, wait a second. I'm going to Google Seat of Sacrifice Warrior of Light card drop rate. Seat of Sacrifice Extreme Loot. Oh, it doesn't tell me the drop rate. Shadowbringers Warrior Light card drops at a fixed rate. What is the fixed rate? I want to know the odds. Ah, it's too hard to find. Kurtrip claims he did 37 runs and didn't get a card. Whoops. I think I did like 3 or something. Which, rip. I don't know how... I mean, I guess it's a very powerful card. Oh. Yeah. I didn't realize I had to actually use these. That makes sense. I guess I probably need to use... How do I look at my card list? I don't remember. Collection? That's not it. Click the tab labeled Gold Saucer under Character. Oh, that makes sense. Gold Saucer, there it is. Card list. There we go. Cool. And then I got the Warrior of Light. 5-2 AA. I don't know what the A means, actually. But neat. Now I have it, I guess. I guess I should probably make a, new deck at this point. Ace beats 9. Oh, so it's the highest possible number. Neat. Well, that is pretty good. Well, hey, now I actually have cards so that I can actually win triple triad matches. So that's reassuring. I'll have to sort of brute force my way through, but it means that maybe I can actually start doing those. Neat. So this is the park. I'm surprised they found space for one amongst all these buildings. Actually, the recreational areas came first. The houses were later built around them. A healthy society requires communal spaces for children to play and adults to socialize. The park was named after the founding father of the empire, the great Solus Zosgalvas. Yeah, about him. Did we come to extract ceruleum from the wrecked Magitech armor? No, we've already drained it dry. Same goes for the rest of the machina in the vicinity. But as our ceruleum has been stolen, we must scour the city for every last drop. While I don't expect to find anything here, I've decided to try one more time, in case something has been overlooked. I see. Then with your permission, we will commence the search. I feel like there's some stuff to pick up on here. Also, I just really like, I said it before, I really like this environment. This is weird. In like a Final Fantasy game, but like in a neat way. I should probably go back and play other Final Fantasies, shouldn't I? To be fair. But yeah. Cursory inspection of the wrecked Magitech armor confirms that the fuel canisters have long since been drained of ceruleum. Julius, why are we here? As if searching for something he knows has gone and will never return. Ba-da-ba-da, Kanajo. I've been married a long time ago. Where did he come from? Where did... Alright, fine. God. Way to be a fucking downer, Julius. Now, if you excuse me, I need to go look at this children's slide. The contraption is built in the style of Imperial War Mach and are armed with a battery of weapons and capable of transforming to different configurations. But on closer inspection, it appears to be no more than a children's slide. Fucking Christ, Deca. Maybe... Calm down. My brother in Heidelin. Calm down. This, whatever appears to have some sort of symbolic meaning relating to this park. Even though the place is named after Solus, it doesn't seem to be a statue of him. Well, at least not anymore. Maybe it was once a fountain? Or somewhere the man himself used to sit. Not that it would matter, even if we knew it, but I can't help wondering. Man, this is dour. Excuse me. In a delightful way. In a way where I'm really enjoying everything right now. But also, damn, is it dour. Where's Alfie now? Several points of interest are marked on the map of Forum Soleus. The pond, children's play areas. To your knowledge, however, none would require the use of ceruleum. Ow. Are we going to make a comment about how this is some sort of ice cream shop? Though rather small by Garlean standards, the structure is reminiscent of a merchant stall. Perhaps it was built for children to play at shopkeeper. There's nothing inside resembling Magitech or any of the devices that would be fueled by ceruleum. Hey kids, come play shopkeeper. Here, you can sell this canister of fuel. Hang on, wait. I'm trying to think of a term for jerry can, but using one of the nations here. It would make sense to be Garlemald. I don't know. I don't know enough slang about this world. Surely there's slang for Garleans. That isn't a slur. Sup? Oh, it's you. Any luck? Hello, playtime running the store was something I enjoyed a lot. Yeah, yeah. There's no sign of any ceruleum. Hardly surprising, but disappointing nonetheless. I couldn't help noticing you gazing at the pond. Is something the matter? What? Yes. I mean, no, it's just... I used to bring my brother and sister here to play. The pond was heated to stop it from freezing over, so, like all the other children, they just had to wade in and splash about. Would have stayed there if I didn't drag them out. We'd all be sopping wet when all was said and done. Every time. And every time when we'd get home, Mother would scold us, saying we'd catch our death walking around like that. The pond was heated. With a ceruleum-powered heater by chance? Well, I suppose it must have been. Come to think of it, I remember seeing engineers changing out a tank beneath a hatch. But that was a long time ago. when the water still flowed clear and wasn't this brackish muck. We can't see a thing, and I can't remember where the hatch might be. With the machinery most likely broken, the amount of filth in there is probably the only reason it hasn't frozen over. I'd wager it's still unbearably cold, though. Julius, what are your thoughts on magic? Well, the average Garlean would jump out of the skin if they saw it, but the first has a few foreign signiferi and medici, so it doesn't scare me. Then I take it you won't mind if I employ a little now. Alf, as you have a knack for finding dry wood, why don't you bring me some? Once that's done, a blast of verify should do the trick. Leave it to me. Isn't that what he says in Dungeons? You're not planning to go in there, are you? Well, of course I am. The tank isn't going to fetch itself. It's nothing so involved as extracting unprocessed ceruleum from a frozen lake like how the tappers do it. We're talking about a shallow pond in a park. And we will have a way of warming ourselves up after. But that's insane. So, fancy a dip? Step aside while I drink the pond dry. We'll find it in no time. That might be the stupidest thing I've heard in a while. And that's saying something considering who my brother is. I can't fault your enthusiasm, though. Let's do it my way first. And if that doesn't work, perhaps then you can try your method. With Alfino's help. It's just some ankle-deep water, my guy. I don't know why he's reacting to it. I mean, yeah, it's probably pretty fucking cold. Oh, yeah, that seems pretty bad. Ankle deep, but freezing cold. Yeah. Doesn't seem like we're gonna find anything. Unless... Yeah! I have hypothermia! You open the hatch and retrieve a ceruleum tank. However, your grand discovery comes at a great personal cost, as you become acutely aware of the freezing cold and a rancid odor emanating from every elm of your body. Julius will doubtlessly feel compelled to pinch his nose shut when you deliver to him your prize. Reminds me. There we go. Alize, you can get out of the water now. Must be another one around here somewhere. Is she upset I found it? Did you find anything? I hope you did. One ceruleum tank. That is a large version of Dekka's face. When did that happen? That's it. And there's still some ceruleum left. The fire's still not ready. Hold on, I'll give Alfino a hand. Hey, look at him. He's helping us out. You can spend bits to gigantify emotes. Ah. Oh, well, thank you for the 30 bits. Also, huh. Streamers can't disable it for some reason, though you can set the bit price. 1 million. Call me an old Don because by fire I am reborn. And my clothes are mostly dry now too. I appreciate you covering this earlier, but I wish you'd taken the time to discuss the plan with me beforehand. Despite the way you've been treated, in Lord Quintus's eyes, you'd still envoy as deserving of protection. If you were to die on my watch, he would be most displeased. Your concern is duly noted, but all's well that ends well. Julius, you mentioned coming here with your younger siblings. Did you grow up in Garlemald? I did, not far from here. My father was an accomplished researcher in his youth, and for his contributions to the Empire awarded an estate. We lived well, better than many. What was Garlemald like in those days? Everything. It was everything you could imagine, and so much more. Sorry, who was your father? Accomplished researcher. Cool. Even during the coldest winters, we always found a warmth and comfort at home. Coming in from the snow, taking off your coat and sitting down for a hot meal, with family, visiting friends and relatives, receiving the same welcome, knowing they had everything they needed. Walking down the street, seeing the lights in all the houses, hearing the faint sounds of laughter and song, of happiness. And although the summers came and went all too quickly, in that brief respite, the ice would melt and the forgotten grass would make its triumphant return. Gray clouds gave way to blue skies. Some mornings, we'd climb to the top of the tallest building we could find to watch the sunrise. Never again. Those rooftops are rubble. Those friends dead and those memories. But if I could even reclaim a fraction of what we once had. Soon, our chance will come. We just need to hold on a little longer. Well, I'm sorry about your dead family. Do you play card games? Because I forgot that I actually need to make a deck at some point. Alright, everything else I have is of one quality. What do I need to sort of patch up my holes, I guess? This is right and down. This is everywhere but right. This is up and down. I don't have a lot of great options left. I only have one. Are any of these really strong to the left? That one's strong to the right, I guess. That might prove useful. Coral. And I'm just gonna bring in the chocobo. No, this just leaves me really weak up top. I only have 2 cards that are good at it. I don't really need... 7 to the right might prove useful. We'll save it. It doesn't really matter. It's the strongest I'm able to get right now. Sorry, I don't mean to be... 1 4-star card and 3 3-star cards. I'm sorry, I thought there was a limit of 2 4-star cards per deck. Why 1 4-star card? Oh, 4-star rating or more. Okay. Yeah. That tracks. Wait. Hey, that means I have a 5-star and a 4-star. So technically, all I need is some more 3-star cards. And I will technically have an optimal deck. I mean, it won't be optimal, but it'll be the highest power level I can have. Okay, it won't be very powerful either because they probably won't synergize very well at all. But I will have cards. There's another location I'd like to search just outside the park. Got it. Uh-oh. No good deed. Why is the quest named No Good Deed? Julius, are we in trouble? As you can see, the place is littered with the remnants of various types of war machina. While my comrades and I have already recovered the tanks from the less damaged units, those that took a more severe beating are harder to scavenge. We decided to save those for another time. That time being now. Rather than prize them apart piece by piece, it would be quicker to remove the outer casing using compact explosives. With luck, we'll gain access to the tanks without rupturing them. Though the force generated by these devices is relatively weak, I would advise you to stand well clear to avoid being hit by any shrapnel. Before even bothering, though, you should check the Machina's ceruleum gauge to see if there's any left. It should still provide an accurate reading, even when the unit itself is inactive. If the gauge is broken, I'll let you decide whether to use an explosive or not. Should you need more, come to me. You got it, Chief. Understood. Let's get to work. Empty fuel tank. No way to tell. I mean, fuck it, might as well. Excuse me. Whoops, whip. Well, I only need one, apparently, according to this quest objective, so I should probably just look for a good tank. I'm sure there's one that's full of stuff. Probably, maybe, possibly, who knows? This looks pop. Sorry, my mic is weird. These headphones are throwing me off with how relatively quiet they make my voice. Well, we'll try this one. If this one's a dud, then they got me. Or half empty, depending on one's perspective. Either way, Julius will surely be pleased by your discovery. There we go, we got it. And I didn't even have to get more explosives. Look at me. More explosives. Wait, is that what I think it is? Here's a tank. Not only does the tank survive the attack that disabled the war marker on which it was installed, it also escaped the blast of the explosives unscathed. If medals for outstanding service were awarded to inanimate objects, this champion among ceruleum tanks would surely deserve one. The flavor text is so cute today. You've done it again. Truly, luck is on your side. With this, we should be able to refuel quite a few of our heaters. Well, it's time we headed back. Wait here while I go and see how Alize and Alfino are faring. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, as long as the music doesn't change, we're fine. Uh-oh!
Finally escaped the watchful gaze of your keepers, have we? Don't react. You'll only draw attention to yourself. Just carry on as you are and listen. After you left with the Garlean lad, Lucia bade a few of us scouts follow you at a discreet distance. We observed you had been led into the station, but decided against venturing inside. When you emerged sometime later, and we saw that the twins were sporting Magitech collars, it was clear what had taken place. Now, as quietly as you can, Tell me everything. The Legatus himself, eh? Now there's a surprise. This is also the first I've heard of a plan to join forces with the 10th and storm the Tower of Babel. An interesting development, and perhaps the opportunity we've been waiting for. Our comrades back at the camp also received some rather promising news, but it's still too early to get our hopes up.
I need to just be writing down my notes. I should probably write down that the 1st and 10th are
For
going
now,
to storm.
keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them.
Tower of Babel. Cool. Okay.
With luck, this will all be over soon. Until then.
I almost expected to see his footprints in the snow, but cool. I guess he's invisible.
They had not gone far.
Well,
We searched high and low, but no luck, I'm afraid. I might have guessed you'd be the only one to find anything.
I wasn't expecting much to begin with. Eventually, there will be nothing left out here for us to safely salvage. For now, this will have to suffice. We should return to the station.
well, all right.
Ah, there you are. Heard you'd gone hunting for ceruleum above ground.
Are the Garleans British?
Brought back a king's ransom?
I guess that tracks.
Hardly. But thanks to these three, we have enough to last a little while longer.
Well, well. It's not at all as I was expecting, these ones. For savages, they seem positively docile.
Thank you, Alize, for reacting the same way I did.
It's a poor attempt at humor. In all honesty, I'm grateful for your efforts. But even with another night of warmth, there are those among us who may not live to see the morrow.
I trust your expedition was fruitful.
Garlemald is loosely based on
Quintus!
Rome and Russia.
Use what you procured to refuel the armor.
What?
But, sir, what about the heaters for the camp?
The time for action is upon us. My men and I have matters to discuss. In the meantime, you are to wait here. Do not forget, you are being watched.
Okay. Have fun. Y'all want to play patty cake while we wait?
The time for action. What did he mean by that?
I can only speculate. Clearly something requiring their magitech, given what we just heard. Whether they plan to utilize it now, or after they join with the 10th, is another question. Will they ever escape this cold? Return to and reclaim the idyllic spaces of which Euless spoke?
Euless, got it. I will forget. It's in my nature. So,
Finished your war, Council?
Alphino and Alizé are to stay here as our prisoners. They will be released once your comrades have relinquished their supplies and withdrawn from Garlean soil. Until our terms are met, they will be detained at a separate location.
After everything we've said and done, this is how you treat us.
Our allies have but limited supplies. They may stave off cold and starvation for a short while, but what then?
Ah, the handshaking. That's cute.
For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them.
Everything will be alright, have faith. I mean, I would argue this is putting ourselves in harm's way a little bit, but...
Get them out of here.
Well. So, how long until I get to wreck their shit? Okay. I mean... I get the feeling we're gonna cause another civil war. Alphino and Alizé will be fine, provided they do not resist. You will accompany me back to your camp, where I meet with your leader and present Lord Quintus's demands. Before we depart, however, there's something I would ask of you. Assuming your contingent complies, the supplies they surrender will need to be transported here. That task falls to legionaries Marsilius and Octavia, who will pilot Magitech armor to your headquarters. You are to inform them that we are leaving shortly. Tell them to ask the Ill for further details. In those words. Once you've seen to that, meet me by the exit. Oh. Oh, so hi, Bryce. Did you see my post about accidentally realizing that I had a card? What do you want with me? Ask the ill. So Lord Quintus has reached a decision. I knew he would understand. That he would recognize the savage as a ruthless, merciless creature. And to defeat him, we too must be uncompromising. I am ready. In the name of Emperor Varus, for the glory of Garlemald, I will fulfill my duty. I don't know exactly where this is going, but I'm curious. You again. As the Illy said. So that's to be the way of it. After all this... How ironic that you should be the one to deliver the news. If those are my orders, then so be it. For the glory of Garlemald. Are they... Is this a trick? Are they going to be kamikaze pilots or something? I feel nervous. I feel real nervous. I should write down. I forgot to write down when I update my notes before streams that radios helped protect people. I'm really hoping that's expanded on and it's not as dumb as it sounds outright. But we'll see. In the meantime, I'm gonna go pick up that ether current before I leave. Have you done as instructed? These duties involve more than the transportation of supplies, don't they? Duty is rarely a simple thing. We have been given additional orders, though whether we will be required to follow them depends entirely on your contingent. You and I are in this together now. Like it or not, we have to cooperate. We? There is one other matter. A place I'd like to visit on the way to your camp. It's a short walk from here. Follow me. Yeah, this seems bad. In every way. They're not exactly even being settled anymore. Something fucked is about to happen. I don't know what it is, but it's fucked. I know that. I should play Metal Gear 4 at some point, shouldn't I? It's alright. Quick stop by the old homestead, eh, Euless? Euless lingers by the ruins, reluctant to leave and reluctant to stay, unable to move on. I'm sure it's fine.
This is my home. Our home. At least it was until that night. I was with Lord Quintus when the capital fell, and thus spared. My family, who did not own a radio, were less fortunate. When dawn came, I made my way here. My parents, my little brother and sister, they were still inside. But they weren't themselves, and they tried to. And I had to. I'd promised to take them away from the capital that very morning, to somewhere safe, to hide until the fighting stopped. I promised. The Garlean flag bears a chain, the bonds between our countrymen. A red link at its center, the blood of the fallen. Our loved ones who lived and died for Garlemald. But if she too fell, who would be left to remember them and their sacrifice? What enduring proof would there be that they were ever here? If we had turned to your gods, would they have saved us? I'm sorry, forget I spoke. We should go.
It's no use. Believe me, I do not enjoy being here any more than you. But he wanted us to play along, so that is what we will do.
Aww. Aww. Aww.
It's so cold.
Painfully so. Unbearably.
I've been thinking about what Quintus said. About why no one would accept Garlean rule. Irreconcilable differences. When coexistence isn't an option, only conquest remains. Varys at Gimlet said much the same. Only by uniting the world beneath a single standard would we rid ourselves of the Ascians. United as one people, one race cleansed of imperfections, a cold and unforgiving vision. And when we fail to live up to their standards, what place is there for us in their world? But the truly sad, truly frustrating thing is how damnably similar it all is to the lofty ideals of Father and the Forum. Non-intervention. Always non-intervention. Protect our knowledge and our people, and to hells with the rest of you. And yet, I can see how it happened. Varys and Father looked to their elders for guidance and took their virtues as their own. But for this world was of their making. In who else could they place their trust? All of us lost in a sea of chaos, searching desperately for purpose and meaning. But it shouldn't just be an extension of another's. It has to be ours. It has to be. We all have a stake in this world. No one should be silenced.
I won't deny that we lack the experience of people such as Father or Quintus. Perhaps they've come to see the world as a series of problems, and the most efficient way of solving them, to reduce everything to fundamental forms. A stone is a stone, a cloud, a flower, no more than that. Simple descriptions that strip the subject of distinguishing characteristics. A man is a man, divided according to race, creed, or allegiance, and to some, defined by such associations.
Is that what you think?
In my misbegotten youth. But what I believed wisdom was no more than aggressive ignorance. I've since learned to look beyond the banners and the politics. To see people as individuals with their own hopes and dreams. As for my dream of building a better world, well, every day I'm reminded that it is far more complex than I had ever imagined. But it only spurs me onward, to find the wisdom and the strength to see it through to the very end.
Listen, Alvino is a very different teenager than he was 3 months ago.
All of our supplies and an immediate withdrawal. These are your conditions?
Demands. And you forgot about the airship. Once again, you will leave one behind. It will be used to return the prisoners. Their collars will be removed prior to the exchange.
So in the end, not even Father's expertly worded rhetoric could deter you from your chosen course.
Huh?
Not that I thought for a moment that it would. I've no love for violence, of course, but ours is a cause worth fighting for. I just wish he'd realize it too. Sometimes the only way to protect the ones you love is to take a stand. To refuse to suffer in silence. I want you to know I share your conviction. Whether it be on the battlefield or in the debating chamber, I won't back down. I guess what I'm saying is...
You've found your own reason to fight.
Yes. Yes, I have.
My beautiful little children, can you stop doing like Sonic 06 levels of over animating?
God's willing, there will come a day when we can finally lay down our arms, and there will be peace. But not until the Telophoroi have been defeated once and for all.
Was it just me? It might just be me.
And you, brother, will have a vital part to play. By your words and deeds, you'll lead the way.
I pray I am up to the task.
And what about Alize?
There'll always be naysayers. Those who think us fools for even trying. It's easy for learned elites to criticize earnest efforts and assert their moral superiority, all without offering alternatives.
Shit, sorry.
Not that their sophistry has ever wounded you. So stubborn and strong. Stronger than you even know. Don't ever change, you hear me? If you stumble, I'll be there to catch you. Or give you a thick ear. Maybe both, for good measure.
Thank you, Alize.
Oh. Sup, man?
The scouts have secured Alize and Alphino. Their collars were removed without complication as well. They report no casualties, not for their party nor the guards, who will wake from their premature slumber in due course.
It would appear the situation has changed. I propose new terms. We have information that will be of great interest to Lord Quintus, and I wish to speak with him in person.
No. In the event you rejected our first proposal, we came prepared with a second.
Ambush!
More are coming! Make ready!
We, the loyal soldiers of the First Legion, proud servants of Garlemald, of the fallen Emperor Varys, shall safeguard these lands from the barbarian hordes until our countrymen return! Stop, both of you!
This child may be the worst emissary I have ever seen.
We received an urgent communication from the Grand Company of Eorzea. Envoys from the Imperial Army, led by members of the 10th Legion, came to Alamigo and requested an audience. They explained that their efforts to coordinate the reclamation of the capital with the aid of the 4th, 5th, 8th, and 12th had ended in failure. Communication between most legions has broken down entirely. Most of the 10th's conscripts have deserted, leaving their forces severely depleted. That is why, unable to continue the fight on their own, they and their allies turned to the Grand Company of Eorzea for aid.
Lies! Every word!
It is the truth, and I have not finished. The 10th has requested that we deliver a message to Lord Quintus. Have the ill stand down.
You have been listening, my lord? What are your orders?
Inform her that we will honor the 10th decision. Bereft of hope, and now dignity. I release you from your duty. All of you. I take solace, your radiance, in the knowledge you are not here to witness our debasement. 'Twas a grand, glorious dream we shared. Of a world united, of peace and prosperity. We are ghosts, you and I, memories of days gone by. Bonds forged in blood that I will not see tarnished.
Quickly! We have to reach the station before it's too late.
If there is still a chance that Quintus will agree to a truce, we must take it.
I just hope we get there before he and his men do something rash.
Wow! I didn't expect them to actually be more dark than Shadowbringers. In like an interesting way. I'm gonna be honest. That's probably my favorite cutscene in Final Fantasy XIV so far. Just like out of every expansion so far, that whole cutscene, the twins talking to each other, the communication about the 10th failing, the content warning, as a whole, I think that's my favorite cutscene so far. And we are maybe a third of the way through the expansion, so like, damn. Fair fucking enough. I'm a Shadowbringers hater. I admit. But it's an excellent start for Endwalker. We'll see what giant stone mountain golem they make. Man, that is effective. Oh boy. What was it? So the 4th, the 5th, the 8th, and the 12th and the 10th legions tried and failed. You know what? Let's just go straight to the notes. Fuck it. At this point, like we have a bit to write down. I'm gonna call this 5. What's the name of this quest? Maybe that'll give me a better name. Fuck. Whoops. Whoops. Hang on. Well, much and more has occurred since last we met. As for determining what comes next, we must speak with Lord Quintus. Alea ecta lacta est. I don't know what that means in Latin, but I assume it's not great. Alright, well. So... the first... take... Alize and I shouldn't write this. The first take Alize and Alfino. I guess my biggest complaint right now is probably the fact that, like, it does bug me when Alize is kind of sidelined in favor of Alfino, when they're not really treated as equal characters. And that monologue kind of made it seem like Alfino was just flat out more important, which I'm not super comfortable with, or super happy about. But we'll see. We'll see. The first take Alize and Alfino. Prisoner. What was the twins' conversation about exactly? Let me make sure I read back over this. I'll deny that we lack the expertise. Just some defined by such associations. My was beyond youth, but what I believed wisdom was no more than aggressive ignorance. I've since learned to look beyond the banners and politics, seeing people as individuals with their own hopes and dreams. Well, every day I'm reminded that it's far more complex than I had ever imagined. Okay, I admit, I don't fully understand the conversation. The breakdown of it basically seems to be Alize going... Hang on, let me... So Alize complains that Garlemald and her father share a sort of common thread of damn the rest of the world, only our people matter. Alfino replies with, maybe, in their age, they come to see the world as a solvable problem, and men not as individuals, but as a collective. But he seems to be saying that the individualism is the part of mankind that's, like, worth it, for lack of a better phrasing. I think that's what he's getting at. See people as individuals with their own hopes and dreams. Well, every day moment is far more complex. To find the wisdom and strength to see it through to the very end. Okay, I believe that's what the conversation breaks down to. Alize is like, man, Garlemald and, excuse me, my brain's skipping. Alize is basically like, man, Garlemald and, Charlian are way too similar for me. Alfino is like, well, they come to see man as a collective solvable resource, but individuals are the reason we have to save the world. And Alize is like, too bloody right. I'll stand by you, let's save the world. And then they get saved, and then the 10th comes in. Okay, I think that's the gist of it. So I'm gonna write down here, the twins compare their father to Garlemald. Vow to fight for, I'm just gonna write individuals in peace here. Euless demands the Ilsabard contingent leaves in exchange for the twins. Twins are rescued the first attacks but before the fighting I'm just gonna say before the fighting starts. Technically it started a little bit and then was rebuked, but just from my notes, before the fighting starts, are told. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll write down the legions. The fourth, fifth, eighth, 10th, 12th legions have petitioned Eorzea for aid. And then last but not least, the legatus is removed from the narrative. The legatus ... removes himself from the story. Okay, so this is very fascinating to me because in isolation, listen, I hate Garlemald, and we obviously like the people in Eorzea, but their actions and reactions to what's going on makes sense. It's not good. It's arguably inexcusable, but their reaction of like their whole lives being like conquer everybody for the good of Garlemald, for the good of the world, and then Garlemald just gets absolutely its shit kicked in, and they have to surrender and petition the savages for aid. I can kind of understand why they're a little bit upset. I can understand why they'd be like, well, shit. Our whole nation and ideals have been torn asunder. Hopefully they come out with the better other side, not racist, but we'll see. Alright, I already read this. Here we go. Before we proceed, tell me what you know of the First Legion and the disposition of their forces. They were preparing for war while the refugees in their care were left to go hungry. A reckless, short-sighted plan that risks the welfare of the people they are sworn to protect. Nevertheless, we cannot compel them to accept our aid. If we were to arrive in force with the intent to do so, we would only incite panic. But perhaps they can be persuaded to follow one of their own. Go with Ulyss back to the station and have him lead the refugees here. Some may be unwilling or unable to leave, but for the time being, I'll take what I can get. Alphinaud, Alize, and the scouts sent to extricate them should already be at the station. I will also have our other comrades in the area lend their support should it be needed. Understood. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Endwalker is gonna really need to fuck up to fall below Shadowbringers in my eyes. This whole section with Garlemald has been chef's kiss. It is exactly the right kind of fucked up for me. It is fucked up. It is horribly fucked up. But it is a great kind of fucked up. I'm having a great time. We'll do a little bit of ether hunting? A little bit of ether hunting while on our way. Just real quick. Look, I'm having a great time. I am enchanted. I also think that this is probably a great time actually to grab the last of the ether currents. Might as well while we have a bit of a shot. Or, no, I probably shouldn't explore the last region before the story takes me there. I guess I'll head back to camp. What is that? Is that a Lost Legion? Oh, it's army. Okay. I wonder what the level 83 dungeon is supposed to be. What was the level 81 dungeon? What have I done in Endwalker? I guess everything in Endwalker before this was I explored, yeah, the Tower of Zot happened, which was 2 phases. First off, we dove into, Sharlayan a little bit. Then we went to the land that I can't remember, which is led by the dragon, and learned about their culture. And we defeated the Tower of Zot. That was sort of phase 1. It's just a little bit too far in. I'm sure that the story will take me here later. Or I'll get all the side quests and just decide to come back up. I don't really want to wander too deep into territory I haven't been told to go to yet. I want to sort of experience my story. That building looks vaguely familiar for some reason. It reminds me of the, Actually, I guess it's just sort of a classic, literally classical building. Story's good about taking the currents. Bless. It would be nice to fully explore an area, though. Something we haven't actually accomplished. We do have to go to the moon at some point. That's on the docket. That's going to be curious about why we go there, but... What is the shadow? Is the shadow the Garlean City? Because I was going to say it reminded me of the Garlean City, but it was just a little bit... not Garlean City, the, Oh my god, there's too many fucking proper nouns in Final Fantasy XIV. The, Ancients City. In, Shadowbringers. Oh, it's a film. Yeah, okay. Hey, Gratia, I forgot you were here. Oh, Alize, I really hope you weren't the one to see it. It sounds familiar. Then again, the Shadow is just a name that exists as much as anything else. Decca and Euless. Are you gonna slap his shit or something? We arrived just before you did. And too late. Too late for what? What's happened? It's Lord Quintus. He took his own life. After the news about the 10th, he relieved us of our duties. Then, when he was alone, he, No, he wouldn't. Thancred and the others, assisted by the soldiers, have seen to the remains. In due course shall the legatus be afforded a proper burial. He released us from our duty. He wanted us to be free to choose our own fate. Without him to guide us where... I've just this moment spoken with Lucia. We are ready to commence the transfer of the refugees here to Camp Broken Glass, should they be willing to accept our aid. It seems weird to continue to call it Camp Broken Glass when they told us the name of the village. Feels a little... I like Camp Broken Glass as a name. It's a great name. However, they did tell us what town it is, and it might be a little bit of a morale problem to tell the Garleans, like, hey, we're not going to call this village a village, we're going to call it Camp Broken Glass, but whatever. Some would rather die, but most of us just want to live. Songs and standards be damned, we just want to live. We'll need to speak with the refugees. They'll have to decide for themselves if they wish to come with us. If any would prefer to stay, we can have supplies brought over for them. It'll be a hard journey for the others, but we'll see that they reach our camp safely. It's definitely an oops, we did an imperialism. You can't imperialist an imperialist. Like, you know, it's fine. Fuck them. For the record, that was a joke. Man. The good news is that tomorrow I'll have plenty of time to play this game, but we might be going through, we might be looking for a jumping off point rather soon. I haven't had the time to play. If I actually wake up at an appropriate time tomorrow, we might be streaming this. Maybe. At this point, I've accepted I'm not going to be done in time for Dawn Trail, so any sort of, like, time crunch I feel is basically gone. So I might be streaming this tomorrow, or I might be streaming something else. We'll have to see. It'll probably be this. But my morning, at least, will be occupied by something else. So, you know, all in good time. It was only a dream, wasn't it? To think we could reclaim it, rebuild it all ourselves. Before this all began, I sent my wife and daughter away to the provinces. If there's a chance I might see them again, I'll take it. So, take me with you. Please. Why do I feel like the girl that was over there is gonna fight me rather than let her come with the refugees? Well, got the aetherite sorted in the end. All it took was a few adjustments, and now it works as well as it ever did. From what I can tell, the one in Latrim is also functioning as normal. That's where you lot are staying, isn't it? I should write that down. Now that most of us are packing up and leaving this place, I reckon there'll be more use for me and my skills over at your camp. Nice. Gaha, you got opinions about everything that's happening here? Questions for later. I was gonna make a joke about fighting one of these trains, but I then realized that we already did that quest, or did that boss fight, so whatever. Uyanje, what are you doing? Oh my god, I just ran over that poor child. To employ healing magics now would likely invite catastrophe, as thou can attest with thy experiences at Victor's spoils. Indeed, the Guardians view our ability to manipulate ether with the same suspicion that many of yours seems to do magitech. Oh, it's you. The one who treated me with such kindness. I heard from the others that you're not from around here. I thought you were one of us. Not that makes much difference now. purebloods, migrant savages. After a while, the words start to lose meaning. Until all you're left with is anger and fear and hate, and I'm too tired. If you and yours have come to offer aid, I'll be glad to accept. Alize? So, oh boy, I was wondering about this. Jesus Christ. We have much to discuss. Our rescue, the attack on Camp Broken Glass, what we hope to talk about with Quintus. But all of that can wait. More urgent matters demand our attention. Are any of the refugees willing to come to our camp? Think the 12. You and I should go first and secure the route back to Camp Broken Glass. With all the creatures and tempered skulking about, I expect we'll have our hands full. This should come in handy. Conqueror's Chain, courtesy of our Lumincin friends. I'd save it for the tempered, though. I'll mark a few points that need surveying on your map. Once you've taken care of the riffraff, we'll meet back up at camp. I will admit, something I'm reminded of is a movie I've never actually watched. There's a famous horror movie from the 80s, 90s? Let me check. Wow, 2007? Huh. I assumed it was older than that. It's a movie I haven't watched called The Mist. It's a horror movie about a thick mist falling on a town. I believe it's a Stephen... I just saw it was apparently a Stephen King book first. Yeah, haven't seen it. I do know the ending, which I won't say because anyone who knows the ending of The Mist knows the ending of The Mist. And I am unfortunately reminded of it. Well, maybe fortunate. I'm reminded of it right now. I should probably watch the movie at this point, but... Oh. Hey, a chocobo keep. Neat. That's... much more, happy. Please watch John Carpenter's The Fog instead. Ah, that's from the 80s. Okay. Yeah, that... I'm reminded of that ending specifically because of... Fucking imagine being Euless and killing your entire family. And then people come in and they're like, hey, we have a cure for the tempered. And you're just like, no, you don't. No, you absolutely cannot have one. Like, it just makes the tragedy even more tragic. Yay! Excuse me, sir. Have you seen a little boy with hair to a similar shade to mine? He's my son and I can't find him anywhere. It all started when I told him we ought to seek refuge in your encampment and he started wailing and sobbing like I'd never seen. The next thing I knew, he was running hell for the goodness knows where. I'm worried he may have left the station altogether and the streets above are rife with danger. Please, could you find him for me? Oh, you will? Oh, bless your heart. If I know my son, he's probably tried to return to our house to the north of Palatium Novum. Try there first before anywhere. He'll be easy to recognize, I should think. With the color of his hair and all. Uh-oh, Scooby. Oh yeah, prior to Shadowbringers. Yep. Maybe we'll deal with the consequences of our actions at some point, but man, this is a fucking depressing spot in the expansion. Like, the other spots were like serious and like had a tone that I enjoyed, but this is just a straight up Garlemald is... If this isn't the emotional low point of the expansion, then I'm gonna be real sad when a main character dies. We'll see. I never did watch the Dawn Trail trailer, so I don't know. I know of at least 3 characters who are definitely alive. And that's about it. Another block straight. Who are you? Mother sent you. Tell her I won't go to the enemy's camp. I'm going home. Well, he's dead. Stop following me! Are you gonna challenge me to a Pokemon battle? Oh my fucking god, Final Fantasy 14. At the very least, they could play Metal Gear Solid music. I also appreciate the child's naivete. Just being like, well, I walked 20 feet straight down a road. There's no way he could have followed me this far. Fun fact, these questions are the worst of everything they added in Endwalker. Yep, I believe it. Oh, that was actually kind of clever. But boy, did it scare the shit out of me. If that had caught me, I would have been like, ah, you bastards. And then I would have followed it up very quickly with, ah, you fucking bastards. Yeah, I feel like I hear very conflicting things about Endwalker, whether it's the best expansion or like just a good expansion. Again, I'm very much a Shadowbringers hater, but I'm very, very, very positive so far. We'll see how things fall. I agree, it was definitely the wind. Pay no attention to the man exploding behind the truck. God, that child walks slow. Wait, what cover am I supposed to use to follow him at this point? The tree, I guess? Oh, thank God. Okay. Make better than Stormblind Heaven's Word. No, our home, it was right here. The only person I know is the first person who ever gave me any opinion on Final Fantasy XIV that I paid attention to, which was Jocat. Because in Jocat's video of I started enjoying Final Fantasy XIV in like 300 hours, here's how to do it in less time, he definitely says that Endwalker is the best expansion. Now, whether or not he still holds that opinion, like 3 or so years later, maybe, but at least directly after Endwalker, he was like, it's the best expansion. You again? Leave me alone. I'm staying here to build a new house. Bigger and better than the old one. I'll be honest. I thought post-game Shadowbringers was by far the worst part of Shadowbringers. Post-game Shadowbringers was tremendously disappointing to me. So we'll see how post-game Endwalker fares. Probably more the same of that. But I'll be comparing the base of those expansions probably as much as anything else. No doubt a certain amount of my enjoyment of post-game Shadowbringers is also affected by losing a good chunk of it. Like you're doing a whole day for a patch. Yeah. I mean, I kind of understand post-game Endwalker being kind of skimpy when it seems like they're basically going to be booting up a whole new plotline with Dawn Trail. We'll see how it goes, but yeah. Why do you care so much? We're enemies, remember? Why are you trying to help me? How would your mother feel if something would have happened to you? I don't care what you say. We don't need your help. But Mother's worried. I should go back to the station. And I'll find his corpse on the way, I'm sure. Ah, you son of a shit. Alright, might as well do a quick little diversion to go pick up that ether current. I like their sword. It reminds me of the sword from Breath of the Wild. Which I'm sure is based off of a real sword design that I just don't know about. But I still think it's neat. I only caught up to current at the very end of Shadowbringers, actually, like 5.4 or 5.5. Well, I think I'm going to catch up to current maybe by the time of the first Dawn Trail. How long after the base game releases does the first post-game patch tend to take? I assume at least a year. Maybe 2. But I don't know, actually. Two months? That's it? Wait. When did Endwalker come out? Endwalker release date. 2021. It's been 3 years. So I guess what? They do the first 3 patches in like the following 6 months and then they wait like 2 years to do the last 2 patches? Something like that? Am I picking up this timeline correctly? They're pretty regularly paced. They would still have to be a patch like every 6 months or so. When did 5.5 come out? Or 6.5, sorry. The most recent Endwalker patch, when did that come out? Hey, I found your kid. Sorry. Wondering when I would see him again. Poor creature. Almost couldn't believe my ears when he said he wouldn't mind moving camp. He was dead against it only hours ago. What could have happened? I wonder what. He was attacked by the Horde Magitech. You say, goodness, that must have been quite a shock for my little man. Thank you for coming to his rescue. This is a salutary lesson to be gained from all this, though. One I hope he attains. Do not scorn a proffered hand when one is in need, whether that hand be friend or foes. At any rate, I thank you for finding him. It's not much, but please, I insist. Thank you. Okay, it's gonna bug the hell out of me if I don't unlock this little section of map up here too. 6.5 was October, 6.55 was January. Okay, so we're gonna count it. So October. So from release date to 6.5 was almost exactly 2 years. A little under 2 years. Wow, that's actually a very fast turnaround for these expansions now that I like lay it out in front of me. That is a very fast turnaround for Dawn Trail, actually. Yeah, shit. Dawn Trail only took 2 years. That's wild. I guess at this point they probably have their pipelines down pat and presumably had a lot of the plot for Dawn Trail sketched out a long time ago, but still, that's wild. For a whole MMO, new regions worth of content? 2 to 3 years, that is insane. Then again, they did rebuild an entire new MMO while still letting the older one, so I guess I hope they're not subject to the worst excesses of Japanese work culture, at least. They shut 1.0 down long before 2.0 came out? Yeah, but didn't the meteor fall on 1.0 as like an in-game event? How long did it take for 2.0 to come out after that? I thought it was basically like a patch time. Like the meteor fell and then it was a couple days and then 2.0 came out. They built 2.0 in a year or something, wasn't it? Oh. Something in my brain is like, oh, it was an insanely quick turnaround, but I'm not sure when. Fantasy 14 1.0 close date. No, I'm not gonna be able to find it easily. Questions for later, I suppose. I didn't even pay that much attention to the runaway train. I wonder what knocked it from its tracks, though. This is a very weird train crash. The way that the ground is chewed up, it almost looks like it was pushed away from the track more than a derailment. I guess it was? Wait, which side is the engine? Presumably that side, because it's the one that's farther away from the track. I guess this could be more of a pure derailment, but the question is, the track isn't really chewed up. What derailed the train? No, it could have been a number of things. Ended in the both ends, probably. Yeah, what I meant is, like, which way was it driving? And I'm presuming that way, because it makes a lot more sense physically for it to be that way. Like, it was coming from this direction, drove past, derailed somewhere, like, here or whatever, and then, Oh, shit. Yeah, that's right. I'm not supposed to kill you. My bad. I know it's just a train in the snow, but I'm still distracted. Something went wrong there. And someone probably knows what. I bet it's a side quest somewhere in the area. Please do not fuck with me. I'm very weak. Neat. Hunt trains? What are hunt trains? Oh, you drove steam locomotives. Neat. Oh, sorry, operate, yes, of course. Remember that scary tree? Which scary tree? The one that I complimented, it looked better covered in snow in variants? Or is there a second spooky tree? It's what was called an elite mark, and if you kill it, you get back full nuts basically every few hours. Oh yeah, I think I've seen one of those before. I never been paying much attention to it, admittedly, but I did see one. Also, I'm gonna die if I'm not careful. That thing kicked my ass while I wasn't paying attention. What happened? I guess I'm just weaker than I thought. Stage Captain Asgard worried about dying, shake him out. Yeah. Look, it's late and I'm not playing very effectively. I had a busy day. Also, I'm not good at Sage. I'll figure it out, I'm sure. I admit, I'm not actually certain whether... I'm so split because I want to play as Pictomancer in the new expansion to keep up my thing of like playing a new class that came out with every expansion. And it will let me play a caster class, which is the last class step I need to play. But I'm not sure like the aesthetic really fits me. So maybe after I watch the trailer I'll be more into it, but that'll all be for a much longer time than right now. Ah, there you are. As expected, I ran into a few beasts who were down without much of a fight. The temper proved somewhat troublesome, but those chains should keep them under control until our allies take them into custody. With that taken care of, I'm to gather a few supplies and then return to the station. Well, I see to that. Would you mind apprising Lucia of our progress? As it happens, I have some rather pertinent information from our recent scouting forays, but I'll save that for later. First things first and all that. Alright, let's turn in this quest, and then now seems like a pretty solid time to go nod off. I should have a very busy day tomorrow, but we'll see. Ah, Deca. I was informed of Quintus's suicide. It must have come as a great shock to his men. What of the refugees? I'm told some were receptive to a proposal, but I would hear your first-hand account. That so many did not hesitate to accept proves how desperate the situation has become. We'll do our best to make them feel welcome. The troops who participated in the ambush are no exception. they will be afforded the same treatment as any other refugees, perfidy notwithstanding. After all, even if I want to make an example of them, there's no one left to learn from it. We will tell our allies that these soldiers were acting under the direct orders of the legatus, and that, following his suicide, they offered a full and unconditional surrender. Perhaps Quintus thought that had he lived, he would have been tried as a war criminal, and his men punished with him. Perhaps, by taking his own life, he hoped to absolve them of any culpability. Or perhaps, like too many others, he was a true believer to the end. Who can say? I didn't know the man or his heart. His reasons, noble or otherwise, died with him. He forced us to clean up the mess. Ooh, could have picked some better words there. Alright. Well, there we go. I assume I don't actually have any new recommended gear. Yeah. Chill. Right. Big stretch. Okay. Before I leave, there's 2 tiny notes to write on my notes. Did I never actually write down that we are at Camp Broken Glass? No, I never did. Well. Home. I almost want to write forward operating base of the Ultrabard contingent. I'm just gonna write base. And then in Garlemald, I think I chose like purple. Which is just like mysteries and stuff. So we have tempered citizens. That's not how you spell citizens at all, is it? No, it is. I just wrote it so bad it looks like I misspelled it. Is that how you spell citizens? No, I don't think so. I think that's a brand. Citizens. No, that's correct. Whatever. Okay, tempered citizens of Garlemald. God damn it. Those by a radio. Very safe. Okay, cool. Neat. That's it. I'm all good for tonight. Doing this 2 hours at a time. Right. I'm too EP to raid out, so I'm just gonna end my stream. Thank you all for joining me. Some shit should be happening tomorrow because I have the day off. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Yeah. I will see y'all, maybe sometime tomorrow. Should be. Have a relaxing holiday for anyone else who has it off. And, see you next time I stream. Goodbye, everybody.